Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. And a day after what was a pretty emphatic performance yesterday from the Springboks, keeping Italy scoreless and putting on a bit of a show with lots of interesting tactics, different moves, and a very different Springbok sort of style to what we probably saw in the first test and kind of what we've seen in the last couple of years. I'm very much seeing the Boks trying to grow and add different aspects to their game. And on the back of that, a very interesting report coming out this morning that Rassie Erasmus is looking for a further contract extension with SA Rugby, and Rian Oberholzer, SA Rugby CEO, has confirmed that the discussions are currently ongoing and it is looking positive. So we're going to sort of dive into that. Before we do that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so Rassie Erasmus has been in charge as a head coach for 41 tests and obviously was also director of rugby for 39 tests, although they don't officially count towards his record. So only Jake White, Peter de Villiers, and Heineke may have actually coached the Boks in more tests than Rassie Erasmus if you take out the Jacques Nienaber era. By the time you add that in, and he's the most experienced Springbok coach, and he will be the most experienced Springbok coach because he's going to be at least at the helm for another 20 more, it's about 24, 25 odd games before the end of his contract. So, yeah, at this stage, he is contract until 2027, and at the end of the World Cup year, that kind of sort of was when it ran out, similar to Jacques Nienaber, for example. Same thing with the likes of Zwandile Stick, Deon Davids, Darren Human. Pretty sure Tony Brown, same. Everyone's sort of contract until 2027. We kind of contract around World Cup cycles, which makes a lot of sense. You know, it's all about sort of the burgers, and then if you have a good World Cup, then you talk about renewing, for example. If you have a bad World Cup, then maybe you sit there saying it's potentially time to change. Now, the talks are that Rassie Erasmus wants to stay with the Boks for another World Cup cycle after the 2027 World Cup, which would then keep him as head coach until 2031, which means that he would have come in 2018 and then until 2031. I mean, we're talking about a 13-year tenure at the sort of the helm of the Boks. Now, immediately, you know, the question is, well, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Because right now, obviously, you look at the way Boks playing, you're saying, how could it possibly be a bad thing? You know, we're talking about probably the best coach in the world at the moment remaining at the helm of the Boks. What I think is really the big sort of reason, and one of the reasons why everyone will be very excited about this is the fact that there's always seems to be lots of innovation within the Springbok camp. You know, Rassie Erasmus is not a coach who's got a simplistic and way of playing rugby like, you know, your Warren Gatlin or his Warren Ball, for example. And that's basically the only thing. Because then you sit there thinking, well, you know, you can kind of be found out and other teams can progress and other teams can find a way of stopping that. And then your kind of tactic is no longer going to work, for example. Not the case at the moment with the Springboks. I think what they do very, very well is the way they complement Rassie Erasmus with so many different types of coaches. Your Tony Brown, Jerry Flannery, Zwandile Stick, Deon Davids, Don Human, you know, Felix Jones. The fact that we've got lots of different sort of coaching IP coming in, sharing ideas and finding ways to continue to innovate to try and keep the way the Boks play fresh. We won the 2023 World Cup in a different way to what we won in the 2019 World Cup. We did have to add a few more strings to our bow. We are now realizing that even further than that, we've got to expand and we've got to become a completely different team once again. And we're definitely seeing that at the moment. And we're seeing a kind of innovation yesterday with the kickoff, for example, being chipped to Damien under Estes and having the scrum within the first 20 seconds of the game. You know, the whole line out, rolling more in the middle of the park type of thing that we did twice and worked both times. So we are seeing us sort of add different ways of playing the game. And that's why I think, you know, Rassie Erasmus could, and it's very easily motivating to get that contract extension. The big thing is apparently there are a couple of big offers for on the table for him. And, you know, so if things don't go well with SA Rugby, then he's got big offers. My guess would be in the Premiership or top 14, but probably the Premiership would be my guess in terms of the options for overseas teams. I don't really see him going to Japan, for example. And you know what? He'd probably be one of the best paid coaches in the world if we were to make that decision, because why wouldn't you want somebody who's guarded the Boks, 2 World Cups, British National Line Series, that always looks to innovate, a very good people manager, a very inspirational character. You know, he's probably the most in-demand coach in World Rugby right now. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He is looking to try and stay at the helm of Springboks for as long as possible and build the Rassie Erasmus dynasty. And I tell you what, no reason right now not to give him that contract. Personally, I think that it's something that should be to the next World Cup. At the moment things are going really well. We're trending in the right direction, but things can also change. And if you then go and it's basically going to be. I mean, if he signs it tomorrow, it's a 6-year contract. And things go badly or things take a turn, whatever, then you sort of lock down to a 6-year contract. Now, right now, I don't think that would be an issue. I don't think, and I think that if we can announce this, hey, Coach 2031, how much of a boost that is for SA Rugby and to shareholders and sponsors and partners all saying that we've got Rassie at the helm and he's going to be there for another 6 years and we're going to keep building, this world-class Springbok side. But if things do go wrong, it does mean that we would be locked in for many years, and that's going to become quite difficult to get out of. So at this stage, Rian Oberholzer has said, as to his told report, that it looks promising with regard to contract negotiations. I think at this stage, the entire South Africa is probably saying, pay him what he wants, let him write down the number. You basically put a blank contract in front of him. He writes down what the terms and conditions are, and you sign it, because he is just completely changing the game at the moment. And it'll be very interesting to see what the fallout's going to be from this weekend with regards to, are we going to suddenly see rule changes maybe, or rule adaptations and interpretation of the way the referee refs to try and outlaw some of the things that the Springboks did, because we have sort of seen that before. Damian Williams calling for a scrum from the mark, all of a sudden that option gets taken away. So we're very much pushing the limits at the moment, and he's a coach who does not rest on his laurels. I think that's the main thing. He's always looking to get better. He's always looking at ways to improve the box set, to improve the way we play, to improve the players he's gotten. And he's not scared to make the big calls, I mean, to be honest, I think most people probably look at the way Mailibok played yesterday, and they're going, how do we not play him, Rassie Erasmus is happy to do that. He's happy to go and be the person that says they're saying, well, 100 Paul, a 2-time World Cup winning fly half, but you know what? We actually might be a better team with Mailibok in it, for example. And he's not scared to make those calls. The whole Andre Esterhuizen thing, and look how well it was yesterday, So it's not just the innovation, it's being brave enough and bold enough to make those calls in big situations. Now, yes, Andre Esterhuizen at the moment hasn't been the hybrid player against an All Blacks yet, all the likes, but we have definitely seen, I mean, even last year we saw those sort of double line-out kind of situation, so we're always looking to try and add different things to our game. And I think that's probably one of the most exciting parts, the fact that we know that we are going to evolve under Rassie Erasmus as coaches, and we're never going to sort of be stagnant. We're never going to play simply the same way. Yes, there's always going to be a forwards dominated aspect, and we're always going to look to try and be that powerful pack and the likes of that. But it's too simplistic to say that that's all the Springboks are. And under Rassie Erasmus, we've been one of many different things over time. And that's really exciting, the fact that we can adapt, that we can change the way we play and the way we go about our game to be able to win trophies. So what do you think about another 6 years of Rassie Erasmus? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.